Signs and symptoms of imminent freedom. Before the Guru's grace brings one to satsang, it is working in the person's life by manifesting in them the many signs or qualifications that appear as they become more and more ripe for freedom, as the veil of illusion gets thinner and thinner. The most important qualifications are holiness and Brahma Jignasa, a burning desire for freedom. Next is Vivek, the ability to discriminate the real from unreal, the eternal from the transient, and between peace and suffering. This is followed by Vairagya, dispassion and renunciation for the unreal transient world of sense objects. Other signs include humbleness, stillness, a dharmic life, a healthy body, inquiry, devotion, ahimsa, nonviolence. All of these signs are aspects of one thing, the immanence of self, revealing self to self. These symptoms arise on their own. Don't be fooled and focus on them. Focus incessantly only on self. Brahma Jignasa, the desire for freedom, a raft across the ocean of samsara, is the strong decision to be free. This intense desire is absolutely necessary. The intensity of this desire is itself the Satguru. The pain in the heart is the self-calling. Always desire self because you will always get what you desire most. The burning desire for freedom is enough and is the result of blessings. The desire for moksha is moksha because now your relationship is with freedom. Now, discriminate between I and freedom. And find out how far I is from freedom. When there are no more places to go, there is no more I to go there. No more tourists left. Then, have faith like a rock in this freedom so that the water and winds of thought and doubt will not move it. If the desire for freedom is continuous, then all the habits and distractions of mind will drop. Think only of freedom, and you become freedom because you are what you think. As persistent as the pain of a toothache, always think of self. The desire for freedom is the high tide which wipes out the sandcastles of doubt. Without this desire, man is a tailless animal. I have such a burning desire to be free of it all. It is enough if you have a burning desire for freedom. It will burn the whole universe, including you, your mind, your ego, and your body. Let it burn, and whatever is left, throw back to the fire. Anything that goes into the fire will become fire. Even the thought of freedom will enter this fire and be consumed and become that. It is so easy, but very few are burning to be free. Most people want sense objects, and so they enter into the universe according to their own will. Let your will burn in this fire, so that it takes you nowhere else. Let yourself be burned in this fire of eternity, love, and peace. Don't be afraid of this fire. It is love itself. This desire for freedom is the fire of love. Most people are afraid of this fire. Very few people have shown this love for freedom, and those who consume themselves in this fire are still living. Buddha has done it 2,600 years ago. This thought of freedom came to him while he was in the pleasure garden surrounded by the beautiful young girls that his father had arranged. His horoscope showed that he would be the king of the ascetics, and so his father kept him in the prison of the pleasures of the world. But this fire of love was blazing inside him, and so he is still alive. We don't remember our grandparents, but this Prince of Peace is still alive in the hearts of the whole world. Like this, you must do it. He was a human being, too. So if he has done it, surely you can do it too. Everybody can become Buddha. The only thing that is needed is the fire of freedom and to recognize that you are the stillness, that you also are that enlightened one. Very few people are at this edge, looking at the eternal water with their ego transformed into ashes by the fire of love. You have left behind millions of people. Now it is good if you jump yourself, but you are afraid of the depths. I am behind you watching the game between your fear of jumping and your desire to jump. Since the diving board is narrow, you can't leave it because I am blocking your way. So if you don't jump, I will push you. But it is better if you jump because I will not let you return. You will see that you are the eternal ocean, and you will be lost in this ocean like a block of ice is lost when thrown into the water. That is how Ramakrishna Paramahans of Bengal, who lived along the shore of the ocean and along the banks of the Ganga. To win freedom, to measure the depth of yourself, be a salt dal and dive into the Ganga. You will forget that you were a dal and you will become the Ganga. This is the absolute oneness of the eternal waters. You will never be allowed to return to its banks because there are none. I want to dissolve in my true nature and never turn back. You have decided very well and you expect something very great. Try to be here for some days more. Stay here and it won't take so much time. This decision is very strong and so you will get immediate results. Don't lose heart. There once was a man called Matwala who sat under a tree and said, "Unless I get enlightened, I will not get up." So he was always sitting, meditating, and not getting up to eat. Then someone came to him and asked him what he was doing. "I am meditating," Matwala said. "What for?" asked the stranger. "Just to be happy," he replied. "I'll tell you," said the stranger. "You see how many leaves this banyan tree has? So many incarnations you must take in order to be free." "No problem," replied the competent meditator. "There may be thousands of leaves on a banyan tree. I will meditate." And so, with this decision, he continued to meditate. "I don't care about incarnations. I just sit." After a while, another saint came and asked, "What are you doing?" Again Matwala replied, "Meditating." "Why?" asked the saint. "Everybody is suffering, and so to get rid of suffering, my teacher told me to meditate," he replied. The saint said, "I tell you, you must stay here and meditate as long as it takes for one leaf to drop from this banyan tree. When one leaf falls, you will be enlightened." Then boldly Matwala yelled out, "I can't wait for the dropping of a leaf. What does the dropping of a leaf have to do with my light and wisdom?" He stood up and started dancing. He was enlightened. So the meaning of this story is that you are not to wait 1 year. This does not depend on the months. You have already spent 35 million years and this tree is always there growing more leaves. If one leaf falls, another will grow. And so how long will you wait? Why don't you just get up and shout, "I am free"? After all, when you are free, you will enjoy your life. Why can't you enjoy it now? Most people are afraid and can shout, "I am dying," but never did I see a man jumping on the road and shouting, "I am free." So if you are a real Matwali, go out on the road and shout, "I am free." My ego is very strong. Can you help me to destroy it? I want to experience freedom. I am without anger and fear. Can you show me your ego so that I can compare my strength with the strength of your ego? Have you ever seen her? I have just felt it. Have you ever seen this girlfriend? She is a good friend. Let her try your strength on you. Then you will run away because she is very strong like an elephant. so you have to tame it with love. If you tame it with love, she will not give you trouble. Let her alone. When you want something that you do not get, the ego will trouble you. You must have the ego to that extent as, I want to be free. Let this ego continue. It is also ego to want this. Desire freedom not tomorrow, but today. Not today, but now itself. Then you will show me the ego. If she is strong, this is a strong desire for her to have. I want to be free. Then this strength will help you. This is also ego. Wanting something is ego, so utilize the strength of your ego by desiring freedom. No other desire should touch you at the same time. Make use of the strength of the ego by desiring freedom. Say it now. I want to be free. Like this, day and night, say that you are going to get it. Buddha had it, so you can have it also. Say this, he was a human, I am also human. He could get it, so why can't I? Sit down under a tree and don't get up unless you are free. This is the decision, and he had it. Indecision will not work, so you have to decide. Many lives you have had and many species you have cycled through. Now is the best time. Your decision is good. You have come for satsang, and there is a place to sit and be free without any practice or effort. Simply keep quiet, without any thought. No training is given here that you have to do. Simply keep quiet. Don't stir a thought in your mind. How easy! You are a young boy, you can do it. Of all the world, those who want freedom are few. Those who are burning for freedom are even fewer. Those who strive one-pointedly are even fewer. Those who do not return to the senses are even fewer. Those who go on the razor's edge are even fewer still. Those who do not fall off this edge are even fewer still. Those who attain the self are so few. Strive, strive. It is so rare that you are here. You have a mountain of merits to bring you here. Do not waste it. Strive. When this desire to unite is extremely strong, what do you feel? When you jump into the deep river not knowing how to swim, what happens? I will drown. Yes, some bubbles will appear on the surface and then break. So these sometimes when you are extremely in love with yourself, this is going to happen. So at the time when the bubbles are coming, will you write me a letter? Will you not take your pen and paper because they are not necessary when you are jumping into the self itself? You don't need anything else. You don't need to communicate anything to the people who are standing on the bank and who have not jumped in yet. This sometimes that you speak of cannot be shorter than the time it takes to drown in the river. When you jump, only water exists. There is no air in the depths, otherwise ego could still be there. But it is very deep and there exists only that, only self, only love exists there. Here you are not to gain anything, but you are to give everything to whom you love. Then everything will vanish. If you have the real experience of this, nothing will ever disturb you. But if you have a disturbance in your mind, then you cannot see the light. This disturbance will be attachment to something which you cannot forget. I am sick of these attachments, and I would love to give myself to love. My only desire is liberation. Now, I want to attain Jivan Mukti. This desire is how you have attained the experience you have. Jivan Mukti, liberation while still alive, is all you want. Mukti, moksham, liberation are of two kinds. One is when you are alive, Jivan Mukti. The other is after death, Videha Mukti. This happens when somebody cannot do it while alive, but it occurs at death. Here, what we do is neither videha mukti nor jivan mukti. Here, we speak only of now. Instant mukti, like instant coffee, like Nescafe. The teacher will give you enlightenment like Nescafe. This is the time you must be strong and near the teacher, so that if trouble arises, you'll seek advice. Finish your work here now. Don't run away. I want to share a Sufi poem by Rumi. Come, come, whoever you are. Wanderer, worshipper, lover of learning. It does not matter. Ours is not a caravan of despairs. Come, even if you have broken your vow 1,000 times. Come, come, again come. Papaji, is it the love and grace that stills the mind without effort? Shall I convert all my will into longing? You have to convert everything into longing. Your longing must be so strong that you forget who is longing and for what. This must be the longing of everybody who is seeking for the truth. You must forget all else. This is enough, and this rises only in satsang. So again and again be strong. Then you will know what you long for was you alone, and the longing will vanish as you embrace your own self. It seems that if I really had a true desire to be free, I would be. You need a 100% true desire that you must be free today, now, and no other desire. Have only the desire, I have to be free, and no other desire of the world. Then, immediately that desire will be fulfilled. How can I have a true desire now? Now is how. Have a true desire now and tell me what happens. Sit for 1 moment with a mind absolutely free. Then this mind will be enlightened at once. Just don't think of anything in that moment, and you will see that you are free. After satsang, sit for 1 second and don't let your mind go anywhere. And if it goes, just watch it as a witness. Watch it come and go like you watch your breath come in and out. Don't stop. Regularly keep watching. When there is no thought, you are free. I have always been a doer, but now I would like to simply abide in my true nature and stay awake to this. Is this just another desire? This you may call a desire, but it will burn away millions of desires. Most people experience one desire as soon as another vanishes. This continual flow of desires is called samsara. As long as there is desire, you can't escape rebirth. But the one desire, I want to be free, will stop all of this. This may be a desire, but it will burn everything else. I am so glad that you have started so young and that you did not postpone this to old age. Now you do not give rise to any kind of effort and don't think about anything, whether you are free or bound. The time will come when this desire to be free will also vanish, but to begin with, you must start as a student, not as a teacher. If I leave this body before I am realized, will I continue this work? Whatever unfulfilled desire you have, if it is kept up to your departure and is the last desire, at the last breath out, then this soul takes birth in some circumstances to fulfill that desire. The soul travels in the skies looking for a proper womb to enter. It will search for a pious family in the case that it desires freedom, and if it decides that the family that it has chosen will not be right, then it will, as a fetus, abort itself and continue its search. I hear from so many people here that they spontaneously inquired or meditated at very young ages. This is a sign of what your last life was and the last desire of that life. If you don't complete your journey in this life, it will be in the next life. My inability to know the truth causes me so much pain. It is only because you don't want it. Your pain and suffering is much more readily available to you only because you don't want the truth. Why is my decision to be free sometimes strong and sometimes not? It doesn't matter. The desire for freedom is so strong that it will destroy all other desires. This destruction means that either the desires will not rise or they will be fulfilled. The desire to be free is so strong that even when other desires come in temporarily, it still reappears. I have had so many plans to travel all over, but I keep canceling them because I can't leave. Wherever you go, eventually you must stay here for final realization. Your best guide is your true desire to be free. This will take you to where you have to be, which is where your mind will be killed. But she does not want to be killed so easily, and will appear as your friend. No, she is your enemy. This death of mind and the birth into the truth is all that I am interested in. This is the true birth, and it will never meet death. All other birth meets death in a short while. With this birth, death is forever removed, because now you have your own self and not someone else, not other. If you love someone else, you have to face the consequences of death. If you don't have any contact with any other person or object, you will conquer death because you are beyond death, in the oneness and happiness of the self of all beings. When I came here to you, there was such a strong decision to do so, even though it went against the advice of my friends and family. How can I let go of everything and open up to your grace and enjoy the oneness and bliss of I Am? You left everything behind in Denmark. You didn't listen to your friends, but you listened to the call. Make the decision that you must find your own light here and now. Leave behind attachments to thoughts, friends, and objects. This decision will immediately pay you. I want it now. Say this and you will change instantly. I cannot tell you what will happen, but I can say you will have no fear and no doubt. Make this strong decision, and you will have more strength than any king. If you have decided that I am free, it is quite enough if you honor it now. Why do you have to doubt? When you say I am free, you must honor this freedom. And if you do this now, it will be the responsibility of freedom to look after you. Why do you say, I want to be free all the time? When you are free, you have gone beyond time. How can you return back to time? It is that timelessness which will take care of you. You have to understand what you have done and what reward has been given to you. You do not have assessment of the diamond in the palm of your hand. You have to honor it. To honor your commitment is most important. Otherwise, everyone is always free. They are already free, but nobody honors that freedom, and therefore one suffers. People only honor suffering. People honor what their parents tell them. You have to suffer like us. The neighbors, the priests, the saints, heads of all religions all say that you are suffering and that you have to go to hell. This is the proclamation of the founders of religions. I tell you that you are already free. Why don't you respect my word? You have come here to the teacher, so you have to respect him and be obedient and do as the teacher says. He tells you that you are free, so accept it. I don't feel any happiness. In fact, I feel like I'm dead. Please tell me what to do. Have only one desire in your life, the desire for freedom. Only this desire will not allow any other desire to trouble you. Whenever it can be fulfilled, sacrifice everything for that desire. This desire will give you peace and happiness, and you won't return to samsara. Sacrifice everything like even kings and queens have done, and you will be free of every struggle of life. Don't allow the mind to cheat you. Only mind keeps you from freedom. Few people have understood the nature of mind and will not listen to the mind. They refuse what comes from the mind, and they make the mind listen to them. They sit quiet until they are free. Only after freedom will they look after the desires of the mind and fulfill them. You are a Hanuman Bhakta, aren't you? Hanuman had only one desire, which was to serve his master, and never allowed a personal desire to arise. Follow the steps of Hanuman and work for Rama alone. By doing Rama's work, the strength will come by itself and you will be able to leap across the Indian Ocean. This much strength you will have. There is such a longing to reach home and be in peace and connect with people on a deeper level. This longing even hurts my heart. You have traveled for a long time, but you can't feel rest until you go home. After you have made all your purchases in the market, you will go home and take rest. You can spend time in the markets and hotels, but home is the best place. So wandering must someday stop. You have spent millions of years marketing, buying commodities that you want, but you have no rest. So return home and rest. Home is the best place to abide always. I am not talking of the house outside of you, but the home inside of you. When you feel you are fatigued by those in the market who want you for money or something else, then come home. The earlier the better. Otherwise you are wasting your life. This home is always available. Its doors are always open. But you must make an about turn. When you stop going out and start going in, you will see that this house has always been free and doesn't even have doors. You just haven't looked. Your weeping shows that you are home. The people who are home have a different face than those who are out in the fish market. I want to always be free. I want to merge with the source. The source of light and life is brighter than 1,000,000 suns. When you want to be it itself, it will burst and instantly end all your desires and sufferings. Simply look at it. Don't question, but dissolve in the light. Stay beyond thought and mind where the sun, moon, and stars do not rise. Papaji, thank God that I weep. This weeping is a deep desire to see something that very few have seen. This is due to your previous karma, which has not fructified in your last incarnation. That is why you are here, in satsang. Now you will start smiling and laughing. This crying is not a bad sign. Many people cry at the loss of their property or of a dear one. But you do not cry for all these things. Just as a child cries for its mother and will accept only its mother, and not even a chocolate will do, so you must continue this very auspicious crying. I rarely see anybody crying for that which gives you peace. Keep weeping until you find your mother, your own self, the supreme power. I am very happy that you have been crying. I have been crying and burning inside to be free. One must burn inside constantly. When the inside is all burnt, that is the time that you will meet your beloved. Having something left inside you, you can't meet your beloved, so let it burn for years. Then you are left young, fresh, and youthful to meet your beloved. So you are well born, and you have a lucky birth. A lucky birth is when you have known yourself and you are peaceful. Most births are unfortunate, unwanted, and unlucky. Lucky births are those who were well looked after by their parents, who desire to know the truth, who have found their way to satsang, and who can speak that they've seen that and all darkness is gone. I have come to you in order to end my struggle to be free, because I can't do it alone. The vastness of your presence has helped me so much already. You have come here with the strong desire to get something which you could not get alone. Let me tell you, you can only do it alone and not with the help of anyone. Two cannot walk abreast on the blade of a sword. It is impossible. When you walk on the sword, you must be alone, by yourself. You can't look to this side or that side or behind, because the edge of the sword is so sharp that you will be cut into two parts if you look anywhere. To go for freedom is not less than walking on the edge of the sword. You can't take your friends, near ones or dear ones. You have to walk alone and look nowhere. If you look, you will shake and you will never arrive at your destination of freedom. This means that you cannot have any thought in your mind, because if you do, you will be in the past. Do not think and don't do anything. Simply keep freedom in your mind, nothing else. Then just one glimpse of the beloved will remove the darkness from your mind which has collected for ages. Be so quiet that you forget even the desire which brought you here to win freedom. Be so quiet that there's no attachment, not even to quietness. There are no attachments in presence because there is no mind. Mind is the past, and there is no past in presence. Mind will only take you to the graveyard, and so only dead people live in the mind. Whatever you think of is dead, so don't touch the mind at all if you want to be free. Don't allow this old friend to come in and trouble you anymore. Simply keep quiet. Don't make effort. You should tightly keep hold of the pull to go within, and then you will not see any other pull. This needs your seriousness. If you want to stay where you won't be troubled by the outside world, stay where peace is available. Outside there is no peace. Why do so many people come here, stay here, and love you? But they don't get enlightened when you say it only takes 1 second to be free. Self-realization takes 1 second, but this second takes a great effort to remove all other thoughts from your mind. You must remove all from this second and allow only this second to stay with you. In that second, stand up on your toes and with clenched fists shout, "I have to be free in this second." It is very rare to have such extreme desire for freedom, such extreme activity and strength that even gods will come and bow before you. You can't do it with your weak body. It takes a very strong body and mind and intention. Then this second will work. You have to do it. Don't just read the menu, eat the food. Defeat the stupid mind. It is not the mind which makes the decision to be free. When you do it, there is no mind. Control the mind and use it as a slave. But here you don't need the mind to be free. Papaji, what is this grace? What is this abidance in self? I long so much for this which you radiate. This longing for awareness must be classified as awareness itself. You must have such an intense desire that you forget that it is desire. Then you will see the beauty of that which you long for. Don't even remember that you are in love with it, but know that you are that love which you are loving. Merge, then there will be the radiance. Vivek, discrimination between peace and suffering. Vivek is the intellect asking and determining if something is transient or permanent. Vivek is the choice between the bliss of self and the pleasures of the senses, between peace and disturbance. With Vivek, pick up what is real or else you will make a mistake. Wise living is discriminating between the false from the true, between joy and suffering, and then rejecting what you are not. Discrimination destroys clinging by exposing the transience, the illusory nature of the object to be clung to. You must always be centered in self, that self alone, is the truth. All else is falsehood. A strong understanding of this in your mind is important. Instantly reason out. Is it a rope or is it a snake? Faulty discrimination is a prison in which you are a slave to the imaginary snake. Hamsa is the legendary swan symbolizing discrimination. From a mixture of milk and water, Hamsa can drink the milk and leave the water behind. After the last satsang, I experienced the luminous one for several hours. Then slowly mind and duality came back. There had been no mind and no identification. If mind appears, tell it that you will not identify with it. Hit it with the sword. Don't identify any duality if duality appears. How simple. Why get into trouble? If duality appears, say there is no duality and no unity either. I have trouble when I do this. Who has the trouble? Personalities? Duality? Why are you in trouble with mind? Have you ever seen it? Mind does not exist. The trouble is with your own ego. You think that you appear and decide that you want something. If this something is not available, then you are in trouble. All beings are there because of your mind. If you check the mind, you won't see any friend or enemy or person or individual, not even time. This is sleep while all else is awake. Don't give rise to any thought. This is in your hands. Challenge all thought with the sword of discrimination and complete full decision, and then nothing can touch you. If your decision is shaky, you will not have this light, wisdom, love, enlightenment. Enlightenment is not for cowards or the weak, but for those who are very strong, who can fight the weakness of personification and attachments. Stand on your own feet and don't depend on anything. How can I lose what can't be lost? This you must know. You must find that which cannot be found or lost. Go on discriminating what your purpose is, what you should get and what you should leave, what is real and what is not real. You must discriminate, or it is all a waste of time. Begin with discriminating what your purpose is. It is to find that which gives you peace. Know what is real. You are here for enlightenment and not for anything else. This is your decision. Don't entertain any thought which will disturb you. Every minute, be on guard. Then you will be successful. Don't let your decision falter. Don't accept defeat. You must be a warrior with sword in hand. Cut the thought you don't want, and you'll be successful. I have experienced two different states here. One is a peaceful, spacious, limitless state with nothing there. The other is like being in a womb very much in contact with a lot of energy. Who is discriminating between these two states? My mind? Both are notions and equally unreal. Both of these states are transient projections, as is the mind itself. It is mind which likes one state and not another. Who is experiencing these states and discriminating between them? Find out. Who is creating differences? One may be good and the other is less than good. Who is seeing these changes? Return to where all states vanish, and then you will enter peace, absolute peace. Mind is discrimination itself. Question the source of this mind. Where does duality arise from? Go there, and you will be there in the source, absolute silence. Go to where differences arise from before there are differences. Do it here and now. Go there, but do not give rise to any intention or effort, and then you will see it. Do it now. Thank you. It has gone empty so quickly. Yes, here nothing will rise. Nothing. Duality will not rise here. This is freedom. This is your own nature. Your own nature. Recognize and identify with this. Merge into this. Then you will see that all of manifestation is in the center of this consciousness. Everything is yours and you become all. No states. I am all of this. From here dance. I don't know if I should stay or go or where to stay or go. To be happy you must discriminate and know when to sit in the shade of the tree and when to walk in the sunshine. It may not be good to do only one of them, so enjoy the sun, and when it is too much, go and sleep and relax under the tree. Enjoy both. Wherever you must stay, enjoy your circumstances. Don't avoid anything and don't accept anything. Since I was at the burning God in Varanasi, my longing to be close to you in myself has been burning very strongly. What can I do? When you went to see the bodies burn, you must have seen that only a few ounces of ash are left. These few ounces of ash are the body, to which you are so attached. This is burning God discrimination. Everybody gets this when they go there, but soon forgets it. You must remember this discrimination permanently. This body will soon be ashes. So before it happens, let me fulfill the purpose of wearing a body. Then when your body is burned, you will be happy. Don't give up peace to chase after thoughts which are not even real. Let the thoughts come and let them go. What is the trouble? Your decision to leave happiness is not a good one. Abide in peace. You have been disturbed for millions of years. Why go back to this disturbance once you have found peace? Understand this. Discriminate between what gives you peace and what disturbs you. Whatever is better, follow it. When you say that thoughts and feelings are not real, I get confused. Are they bad or meaningless? All thoughts and emotions are not real. They're all like waves that dance on the surface of the ocean for a few seconds or minutes, and then they return to where they have arisen from. Then they are no more a wave, but they are ocean. How long can a wave keep its form as a separate personality? Name and form is not real. Look at the substratum from where they arise. That is real. It will not change. Before any thought rises in your mind and goes toward an object of your senses for enjoyment, look at the substratum from where it would arise. From there, you can enjoy the forms of thought and feelings because from there, you are not ignorant. The wave and bubble are ignorant because they only dance for their own name and form. These forms are transient, and to be attached to them is to be confused. Anything that rises, be it thought, desire, emotion, feeling, or object, will give you suffering, and no one in the world can avoid this. Both the enjoyer and the enjoyed are washed away. But the wise discriminate between the real and unreal. They know what is real, and so allow their feelings and thoughts to arise because they know all is one and the same. In this way, you will not suffer. I want to experience the One. Who experiences your suffering and your joy? It is not the body or the mind. The enjoyer is something else. Everybody is confused about this. They say, I am enjoying, and they mean that my body is enjoying. This isn't it. Who is the witness of enjoyment when the body is involved in enjoying? Witness is not engaged, but only a witness. This is the self, your own beloved heart. You are that itself. While walking in a field in Poland, I had a strong experience which broke down totally the reality of the world. I clearly saw everything as a mental construct of the mind, but this experience slowly faded away after 2 weeks. I was terrified by this view because I had no idea who I was. My previous identity of who I thought I was shattered. Seeing everything as a mental construct is the best experience one could have. Why were you afraid? All is mental construction. When there is no mind, there is nothing to touch or to see or realize. Just like in the sleep state, there is nothing. When it happens in the waking state, it means the person is reaping the reward of his merits and longings. This experience can happen anywhere, in fields, in forests while awake, or asleep. It doesn't matter. But when you had a doubt about it, it faded away. When this happens, you don't need to know who you are. When you question, who am I? There must be a subject, the question, and an object. But when everything is an illusion, as you said it was, then this subject and object is also an illusion. Nothing exists. This is the truth. So many of my friends told me that I had to see a psychologist after I had this experience. So I finally gave in. But instead of telling me that I was crazy, as I expected, he told me that it was time to find my guru. I couldn't believe it. I heard about you soon after, and now I am here. Grace has brought everybody here. This is the grace of the divine within saying, "Come home." Grace brings you here to clear your doubts and to end your journey. You have to make the most of this human birth so that you are not thrown in the womb again to suffer. How can I stay beyond this separation caused by thought only? I have such a strong longing for it. You have a desire to be free, and you have the desire for something else. So you must discriminate which is permanent and which is temporary. Most people want only the temporary satisfaction of the mind, which fades away in a few seconds. Nobody desires abiding peace and love. Discriminate between what is eternal and what moves like bubbles on a lake. This bubble moves across the surface of the lake, shining, sparkling, but it doesn't have anything to do with the reality. With just a small gust of wind, the bubble is lost and returns to its substratum. In this way, you also work for your substratum. With strong determination, know that you have to win it. The stronger your determination is, the earlier will be your success. Vairagya, renunciation of the transient. Freedom is beyond understanding, beyond the movements of mind. And yet there is one intellectual grasp that is very important. It is to know that no object will give you peace of mind. And if you know this, you will not be attracted to the transient objects. This is dispassion, vairagya. Vivek is the discrimination between the real and the unreal. The desire for freedom is the passion for the real. And vairagya is the dispassion for the unreal. It is the abandonment of attachment to all sense pleasures, because they are inherently transient and illusory. Not because they are bad, they are your dance. Unless you renounce mind, all other renunciation is useless. Everything you would renounce is renounced with mind, but only self renounces mind itself by vairagya, non-attachment to thought, and the renunciation of all that makes you suffer. Vairagya is knowing that there is no abiding pleasures. A wise one rejects all for peace. I feel that I am on the road to freedom, and I wonder if I break all of my attachments, will I be free? Do I also need to break my relations? When you want something other than these attachments and relationships, They will naturally fall off by themselves. You are not to break them, but they themselves will fall like a wall of sand. All relationships are not more than the walls of sand that the children make at the beach. There is no relationship worth living with like the relationship with your own self, and you can never get rid of that relationship. But any relationship that discourages you from finding yourself must be rejected forever. Actually, there are no attachments at all. How your attachments fall when you go to sleep, and there is no father or mother or priest or church to have attachments with. Like this, when you search, all relationships will fall by themselves because they do not exist. They only seem to exist because you need something from them. You have some interest somewhere, and therefore you make up a relationship. The only relationship that cannot be broken is to fall in love with your own self. This is how you will find peace. Later you will know that you have always been living in peace, but due to attachments, you were involved in other things and you did not look at what was under your feet. Your senses were running out to some place or object or person, and therefore you never got to this space at all. So, my dear friend, now onward, you are here in satsang. This is the best place which will not cheat you like all the relationships have cheated you so far. There is such a magic coming from here. I feel that I was pulled from the other side of the planet like a fish is pulled in by the line. You have left everything behind. This is the magic. Coming here to fulfill your purpose is magic. You will know the consequences of this magic in a couple of days, I assure you. When this starts to happen, it is some inner drive which wants to love you. This drive does not come to everyone, but only to very few people who reject their kingdoms, their kings, their queens, and their treasures, and who then go straight away into the forest to find success. Make a strong decision not to leave until you are successful. The stronger this desire is, the stronger will be the fire which will burn in the heart of your beloved. Then, just as you have rejected everything, he will reject his heaven and will come in front of you. Don't worry, let this candle be always lit in you. Into this flame the moth will come and consume itself. The truth always is, but can the recognition of truth be delayed in time? No, the recognition of truth cannot be delayed. Delay in the recognition of truth is only due to the searching for what is not truth, and the lack of the sincere and honest desire to see truth. Truth is everywhere, in front of you, behind you, below and above you. But you want something else, some other person or object. When you don't touch these other things, what do you see? Instantly, you will see that you are truth itself. I have lost interest in the world of name and form. Finally, I came here to Lucknow. Sometimes people lose interest in the world due to mental tensions which cause neurological problems. Others lose interest due to a greater interest in peace and love and beauty within. I can see from your face that you are not from the second group. I see so much fear on your face. Somebody has probably mistreated you, and this is what you are running away from. Just stay here for a while, and you will be helped. I'm sick of being controlled by things which happened so long ago. I want to be free and always be like a soft breeze. The nature of the breeze is to never stay in one place. She is always moving. If she moves in a garden of roses, she is not attached to the circumstances that this is a very beautiful garden. She doesn't say, I will stay here. Her nature is to keep flowing. The next place where she comes is some garbage where the pigs are eating. She just keeps on flowing, neither rejecting nor accepting, neither attached nor detached. This is her nature. This nature will help all of us to be free. It is not to be attached or detached to anything that comes in front of you. Just keep on flowing. Now, the trouble is we have attached ourselves to one place. That place is relationship, especially with your own body. You so much like your own body. But this is not the nature of the breeze. Therefore, everybody suffers. If you say, this is a beautiful body and personality, I want to stay in this body always, then you identify with it. But this is not going to happen. Therefore, you could have decided for one particular place, one person, and education to make you happy, but you will not be happy. The happy one is the one who keeps on flowing and doesn't stay attached to one particular place or thing or person. This is why the breeze is always happy. Once there was a person who was trying to find a guru. He saw the breeze and said to her that she was his guru because she taught not to stay in one particular place. I will always behave like you, and I bow down before you. Like this, everything that you see is a teacher. Another time he saw a girl in her house whose future mother and father-in-law stopped in to visit. Since her parents were not there, she had to cook for them. They were very poor and had hardly any food. But she didn't want them to know this. As she started to husk the paddy, her bangles started to tingle. Since she was very wise, she knew that the guest would know that she was pounding the paddy, a sure sign of poverty in India. So she removed all but one bangle from each wrist, and thus there was no more sound. The man searching for the guru saw all this and learned from her that you have to stay alone to be happy. Unless you keep yourself to yourself, you will be wasting time tingling with others. You have to be close to be with your own self. Like this, whatever he saw, he accepted as his guru. Earth also taught him, you can do anything and she won't mind. You can pollute her or put flowers on her, and she is the same. She accepts everything, and so he said that this Mother Earth is my guru. Like this, you can have teaching from anything, if you really want to learn. The purpose of this story is this. Don't keep the company of that which will spoil you and waste your time. You must take some time to be alone and unattached. For now, until you serve your guest, until you are free, you must be quiet, alone. Find some moments for yourself, and don't always live in society. Society meaning that which wastes your time. This will be enough teaching for you. Learn from everything. Please guide me through the burning forest of samsara, and never let my mind deviate from the service to the truth. If you are feeling that this whole forest is burning, only then will the truth be easily available to you. First, you must find that you are suffering from samsara, which is like a wildfire in the forest. When you feel this, you must give up everything and find peace. This is the right time, the right moment. If you miss it, you have forever missed it. Chaitanya said this as well. When the right moment comes, don't wait. When the idea comes that you must realize the truth, you must leave everything. This is what he did. Don't wait. Leave the kingdom. This idea may not come again in your life, and again you will have to go through the never-ending cycle of the 8.4 million species of life. So decide. I must realize this love in this lifetime, in this year, today. This must be your decision. I will not return back until I find peace. This peace will not be available until your whole environment is burning. If samsara isn't bothering you, something is wrong. But if it's troubling you, then reject the whole thing. This is how even the kings have done it. I have had a very good life, but it is not fulfilling. I am fed up and want to end all desires, all mirage. I don't even want the water. This is a very good vow to take. You don't want reality and you don't want mirage. This is quite enough. Only when you have no concern with reality or illusion will you be able to sleep and rest. Self has brought me here to see self in your form. Why can't I give up the illusion? Why does mind continue to argue? Why won't it let me go home? I'm tired, miserable, and fed up. Very good. This is the resolve that one has to make. The mind will argue for some time and then keep quiet. If the mind is there, let it be there. It has no power. Don't hesitate to allow the mind to be near you. Why are you afraid of the mind? Mind is only a name, like a ghost. It never existed. It was only your desire. Only then the mind comes and functions. I want this, and there is mind. Mind is only in the doubts and desires. Only then do you need mind. Now the trick of the mind is over. Now if the mind comes to you, it will be your slave, your servant to look after your body requirements, not to command you to do this or that and trouble you. It will become like a slave. You are not to think of anything. It will serve you. But if you do not know that it is your servant, then you will suffer. Tell the mind that if it wants to stay with you, it must act to your commands and look after you. Then the tablets will turn, and when this happens, everything will change. Your face and body will change. You get a glimpse of the moment when the mind is not playing with you. When no mind is there, your face is very beautiful. But when you have a desire, then you are not happy, and you have no peace at all. Do I need to release all these problems and worries before I can go to God? You can't release first and then go. You have to shine first, and then things will be released. Go straight, and everything will be released. Go straight home, and everything will be taken care of for you. Don't keep it in your mind that you have to get rid of this thing and that thing. It will not be possible, and you will have to spend a lot of lives trying. Straight away, keep only this in your mind. I have to be free. Otherwise, there are too many things to handle, and this life is too short to look after them all. Time is coming. You have to hurry up and reach home. When you have only this freedom in your mind, everything will be released because your mind is no mind now. Don't keep anything else. Love yourself. If freedom requires you to leave the things you love, it is a fierce price to pay, but worth it. Can this object which loves you love you forever? Will it go to sleep with you? It is only with you in dream and waking states. Even when you die, your body will not accompany you. So always love that which will always be with you, and find it now with discrimination. Keep company with your beloved. Holiness, innocence, and purity. Truth exalts a holy person. So you must be so beautiful and pure and faultless. You are holy when the vasanas are removed, and when there is no thought. You are worthy when you are holy, but worthiness alone will not do. You must find the one who is worthy and be free from worthiness and unworthiness. As the dead cannot say, I am dead, so the worthy cannot say, I am worthy. Stillness is absolutely necessary. It is an inward-turned mind, turned inward of all senses, thoughts, and concepts, and this is a free mind. Keep quiet. Mind going out to pleasure is samsara. Mind in samsara is the cycle of birth, suffering, and death. External purification is important. Environment, association, body and mind. Internal purification is the burning desire for freedom. A sattvic, pure, harmonious mind leads to inquiry, and so a pure dharmic life and diet are recommended. Inquiry cannot arise in a mind disturbed by tamas and rajas. A rajas active mind leads to anger and sadhana. It is a monkey mind and will not see its nature. A tamas, dull lethargic mind, leads to sleep, doubt, and fear. The dull mind does not listen to the teacher. If you are not otherwise occupied, then one word from the teacher is enough. This is the sattvic mind. Burning desire for freedom, constant meditation, inquiry, and giving up pleasures. Be quiet, do not think, make no effort. Those who are holy will attain truth. Holiness is the main condition. I have a strong desire to have a holy nature. This holy nature is a must for those who want to be free. You have to be holy because it reveals to a holy person and not to anyone else who desires other things. Holiness is falling in love with your own self. This is devotion, and it is not different from love. When you love, you are devoted to, and what you are devoted to, you love. When this love has no object and goes nowhere to itself, it will reveal itself to you in whatever form you desire, manifest or unmanifest. If you desire this love, don't try to love a particular person, because this love has no personality, no form, and no name. God is this love. I want to thank you for the time you spent with me yesterday. Since then, all my problems have been burned away like fog in the early morning sunlight. Excellent. I told you it would happen. These quick results mean that you are a very honest person. Only an honest person can do it, because the truth exalts a holy person. A holy person enters into the heart of truth without any difficulty. Who is a holy person? Just shut your eyes and see. Am I holy? Am I holy enough to touch the divine? There is no difference between the divine and the one who desires to see the divine. Any question I have now instantly disappears. This shows the mind is pure, so pure that it cannot entertain any doubt or question. Many people come with questions, but before they can ask them, they forget all about them. This depends on the purity of the mind. When a man is pure-hearted, God walks behind him to fulfill his every desire instantly and spontaneously. This is how it happens. Just say as Jesus did, "Let thy will be done." You'll be very happy if you surrender to that will inside. I still feel something is not totally pure about me, and it keeps me from seeing the flame. I want to become transparent and disappear. You are pure, but when you feel that something is not pure, you will not be able to see the flame. This impurity has to be attachment to somebody else, and that doesn't allow you to be pure. You are not to be attached to anyone if you want to see the flame in your own self. When you are attached to someone else, you are seeing the flame, beauty, and love in someone else. You must first see your own beauty, and then you will see the beauty in all beings. Transparency is having no thoughts in your mind. Then you will be transparent. So have no thought for just a little while. Don't think and you will become transparent. How to purify oneself and become beautiful. To become beautiful doesn't take any time. It is not the beauty of the skin. It is that beauty which the truth exalts. You can be beautiful by not keeping any thought in your mind. Keeping thought in your mind makes you ugly, not beautiful. When there is no thought, the inner light shines through your pores, making you and the entire world beautiful. When Buddha attained freedom, he became so beautiful, even physically. Now people use so many methods to become beautiful. In the 60s, they even tried to make themselves beautiful by chemically changing their minds with LSD. But this beauty they found was temporary, and the drugs spoiled their health. I met many of them, including the famous ones. The beauty I speak of is inner beauty. When there is no thought, you are beautiful. Why are so few people free? Why are there so few Buddhas? Because so few people want to be free of bondage strongly enough. I feel unworthy of freedom. Unworthiness will not allow you to be free. You have to prove yourself worthy of attainment because truth exalts a worthy person. Truth will come on its own accord and is always here. Truth has been with you ever since the world was born. You are not to achieve or attain it at a later date. It is already here. Avoid looking somewhere else and it will reveal itself. Avoid looking at your body. You are not bodhisattva but bodhisattva. The bodhisattva is one who has no desire at all, even if they themselves voluntarily involve themselves in attachments. This is the climax of freedom. The free man doesn't care if he is attached or unattached. This is bodhisattva. I want to focus 100%. Mirabai focused on God 100%. She focused so much that she could even play chess with Krishna, much to the dismay of the king and his sister who thought she was seeing another man. This self can manifest if you are innocent. She didn't know that he was just a statue. So if you are focused on self, you will see that the self will manifest in whatever direction you want because it is the self which manifests in every form everywhere. You have to change the I. Then you will know that everything that you see is a manifestation of yourself within. So you be sure when you speak about 100% focusing, when you love freedom, love alone must be on your mind, heart, and activity. When you speak, it speaks. When you hear, it hears. Can you show me God? This is the question of questions. There are many questions, but this is the highest you could ask. I remember a story. It was the same quest and the same request. An 8-year-old girl came to me and asked me to show her God. I told her to go to school and tomorrow I will show you. Then tomorrow came and she said again, "Show me God." I told her that the driver was waiting to take her to school. "You should go with him and then tomorrow I will show you." She said, "Every day you say tomorrow. But this day I am not going to school. You have to show me." I said, "Okay. Okay, I will show you God in this little room. But to see God, you must have something to give him. What do you have to give him?" "I will give him the chocolate that Mama put in my lunch," she replied. I said, "You give the chocolate and God will come." "But where is God so that I can give him the chocolate?" she questioned. "Give the chocolate first, only then will God come. He will not come until your hand is extended," I told her. She was a child and she had no doubt, and so she extended her hand. Then there was a lot of noise in the room and her mother came in and asked what happened. "Mom, I gave the chocolate to God and he took the whole thing and didn't give half to me." So I slapped on his face. Can't you see him? I see him. Papa sees him." Her mother never agreed to what she said, and so the child made a drawing of what she saw, which was the most beautiful picture of God I had ever seen. She would go out walking with me and meditating with me, and would even tie a rope around my leg which she held while she slept so she would know if I left. What I want to tell you is that it is innocence. God is everywhere. Those who are not innocent cannot see him. Cleverness is not needed and will only get you in trouble. You need innocence. Then you can see God everywhere because he is everywhere. Why can't you see him? Because if you have a doubt, you can't see him. The veil between you and God is only doubt that God cannot be seen, and only could be seen after long penance in the caves of the Himalayas. Not itself. Who do you see? I don't see anything. I told you not to doubt. I don't see is a doubt. Remove the doubt. Again, tell me, what do you see without the doubt? Don't doubt. Again, tell me. Don't keep doubt. What do you see? I see God. Faith and trust. I feel that I would like to be more receptive to your love and grace, but I lack trust. Can you help me? If you have no trust in me, you can't receive my teaching. You must have 100% trust in me. Then only will the teaching find a way into your heart. This lack of trust is a neurosis, which you develop because of the fights your parents had with each other while you were still in the womb. You were hit from both sides like a poor little tennis ball. Here, though, people love you. You are lucky to have come here. So just remember, surrender to truth. Forget your old habits, your parents, and your old relations. Now your relationship is here. Your sisters and brothers have received you so well here. This is your family now. Forget about your parents and even your country. Start from here. You are born from here. Just be quiet, and you will receive a precious gift from the light hiding inside of you. Don't worry about what has happened before. Always starting from this instant of time is the awakening to your responsibilities. Go now laughing and smiling, even if the world goes on crying, and convey this truth wordlessly. I have total trust in you. Where has this totality gone? Total trust is total trust, 100%. I will tell you of trust. I traveled all over India looking for a guru. I was in the army then, and I had a superiority complex. So I would find a teacher and ask them if they could show me God. Then all the devotees would look at me and show me their long beards which they grew during their 50-year stay with that particular guru. They would say, "We have searched unsuccessfully for years. How do you expect to come here with your shoes on and see God in a minute?" Then they would push me out. What to do? But if you search for something so intensely that you won't even take food until you find it, then you will get what you want. So this story ends at the feet of Ramana Maharshi. I asked him, "Can you show me God?" He said, "No, God cannot be seen. He is not an object of senses which can be seen." I was amazed at this and wondered what he would say next. Then Bhagavan said, "Ninan Bhagavan, you I God. You can't see God because you are God. How can you search for that which you are?" At that moment I had full trust that I am God, and this trust didn't falter, and still it stays. How can you say you have trust? You have mistrust. If you trusted, your eyes would shine and your face would shine, and you will smell a fragrance. You have to trust what you are. What is there to mistrust? How can I trust? Find out who spoke these words. Again, I tell you, trust me and trust me totally. If you don't trust what I speak, then you are in the wrong place. You have been a donkey for so many lifetimes, so you won't understand this very easily. The donkeyness is in your genes, and unless you meet a specialist who can change you at the genetic level, you will not be free of this donkeyness. Will I ever be a lion? Will I ever have faith? No lion will ask another lion if she will ever be a lion. About faith I will tell you a story. Once in Shivrati in Varanasi, I was with 7 girls from different countries who had come from Rishikesh to celebrate it. So we went into the Golden Temple, where no foreigners are allowed in. This was written in Hindi, and so I didn't tell them. And we just walked in and saw all the gold donated by the king of Punjab. Not only did they see the temple, but the priest helped them to perform puja on the lingam and gave them prasad. As we walked out, the people looked at the girls' faces, and when the girls asked me, why, I told them that the sign said that foreigners are not allowed. Then they wanted to know why the priest had helped them so much. I told them that he was blind at that time. When we entered, their faith blinded the eyes of everybody in the temple. Faith is very strong. It can defeat anything. Good karma and ahimsa. A dharmic life is filled with right actions, which bring good karma. This is important in the initial stages so that your mind is not disturbed by the consequences of adverse karma. It is due to karma that the mind becomes sattvic and pure mind is not different from freedom. The pure mind is always in meditation. The innocent will get it first. My path to freedom began 20 years ago with non-violence. Can you talk about harmlessness and health? Become the sky and you will not harm anyone. This is ahimsa. Sky is emptiness. Sky protects everything and is a canopy above everything and even provides water to the earth. The first dharma of everybody who goes toward freedom is ahimsa. I will not harm anyone physically or even by thought. You have to be so clean internally and externally. Outside also you must be so clean. You must bathe, speak the truth, refrain from stealing and harming others. This is the foundation on which to stand if you want freedom. You must be pure in heart and also go through physical purification and then stay in satsang after purification. You should wake up in the morning, wash yourself, do some yoga, and meditate. These are the physical exercises. Internal purity is to not think bad about anyone. And if you think for the good of everyone. The first sentence on your lips in the morning should be, let all beings be happy, all beings of the earth, all beings of heaven, all beings of hell. Please, O God, give them happiness. This will change your face. I do this exactly, everything that you say. I don't think so. Your face doesn't show it. You are like the butcher who loves the sheep all the while looking at her ribs. He doesn't love the sheep, but is always wondering about how much meat he will get. This mind is like a butcher. Don't fall in love with the mind. When you say, I do this, it is the mind which is speaking, touching your ribs and wondering how much meat he will get from you. That butcher is death, Yama, who is after everyone and don't think he is compassionate. Sometimes we hurt people that we care about, and the result is a feeling of unworthiness, which keeps the mind from freedom. Don't hurt any person by word, by action, and not even by thinking, because this will rebound back to you and produce 10 times the effect. If someone hurts you, you must forgive them and be compassionate toward them. Then you will get peace. Don't even think of hurting anyone, not even a tree. You can't understand the language of a tree, but if you abuse it or pluck a leaf or flower, she will not be happy with you and can abuse you. Once I was in Karnataka on a coffee plantation, staying high on a hill in a very nice wooden bungalow. In the morning I woke, and the planter said that he would go down the hill and have the cook prepare us breakfast and lunch. So I went out and saw an orange tree full of oranges, and I went to her and said, "Good morning, Mother. You are so lucky you are having so many children." I was appreciating her load of loose jacket oranges, and I had no intention of eating any of them. As I was about to go down the hill, suddenly 12 oranges instantly fell to the ground. I looked around, but there was no wind or bird. Then I conversed with the tree, which is possible if you have that much love. She told me that she was giving me this present, and that I should take it. I could understand the language of the tree. I hugged and kissed the tree and took her gift of oranges. This is what I advise you to do. Do it and see what happens. I have had the experience of the universe being one. Due to your good stars, this experience comes to you. It is not on account of your effort, but because God is loving you. Your karma of other lifetimes are bearing fruit. Otherwise, it doesn't happen. But now my mind is coming up with a game. I am not good enough. Dirty things are coming into your view now. At least you can see them. The things which are not good for you are found on the surface. This is a good sign, that you are knowing your weaknesses. Most people do not know this. They belong to the category of people who do not know that they do not know. You are above that. You know that you do not know. This is the seeker. The third category are those who know they know. This is the teacher, who you must follow. What should I do about these doubts? Keep your outer environments clean. I will clean the inner environment. If there is garbage outside of your house, you will have a bad smell on the inside. So remove the outer garbage first, and inside will take care of itself. Outside environment is doubts, restlessness, suffering, biting about other people, hating people, not loving people. These are the outside things, the outside impurities. This you must clean yourself, and then you are ready for satsang, and it will be easy. Finish all your doubts once and for all. I have been sweeping all the shoes as you have told me to do. Please help me. I surrender to you. Has this sweeping away of your ego worked or not? This is why this service of sweeping was given to you, so that your ego becomes so humble to sweep the floor and clean the shoes. This is a way adopted in India. Even very high people go to the front of the temples and take the dust from under the feet of the devotees and smear it on their forehead. The women don't even use a broom to clean, but use their saris so that they are sanctified by the dust from the devotees' feet. This is what they do in India. And so I tried it on a Western person, and that was you.